right. Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Hank, and welcome to Extraordinary Investor. And you're going to enjoy these sessions together. It's going to be very interactive. We're going to learn about each other, going to learn from each other. I have lots of resources to give you, and I think you're going to really get a lot out of this. And probably more importantly, you're going to grow your business. And we'll get into all of that because everybody I know has different businesses, and today's session is all about how to build a winning and prosperous mindset. And before we get into that I just want to share with you kind of an overview on how this can play out best for you and how you can get the most out of this, the highest return on investment, right? Us investors like that, ROI. And so whenever possible, if you can be on the live session, that the live session is really it's valuable because again, we're going to be able to, you'll be there live with us, you'll be able to interact with each other, and at any time you can input any information that you want, any thought that you have, and ask any question, whatever it may be. Also, I'd suggest that if you notice that, here Freddie is, and so by the way, we're all over. We're from all over the United States. Freddie just joined us, and he's from Florida, so he's probably the warmest out of us all. And good morning, Freddie. And
Hey, Dr. Hank.
they, and so I would suggest that you, when I sent the email out, I didn't blind copy it. It was regular. And so if you connect with somebody, and you will, that, reach out to each other, help each other, that you'll see that it's almost like a mastermind group that we will be in. And I'll provide some information that'll just kind of help us get going, if you will, on that. And I would suggest also that you come with what I'll call a beginner's mind. And what I mean by that is a lot of us say, oh, I know that already, but we don't apply it, or that, we think we know it. But so really be actively listening. And as I'm sharing with you, because, as you know, I'm a $1 billion investor. We right now have a little over $1 billion worth of investments, and it's in all kinds of different real estate, all different types of real estate, some stock too. Sometimes I get a tip, and I'll share those tips with you whenever that they come. But it's like the poison pill. Like the way to not get out of this is to think, oh, I've heard that already. I really want you to get into this and hear things. I would also suggest that you have a journal. And so I'd ask that you start journaling and writing down every day. And we'll talk about what to write down and what you can start writing down every day. I would also have a notebook with this. And so separate notebook that would be open today, pen and paper in front of you. Again, you'll think like, oh, that's a good quote. I'll remember that, because I have ways to tap into your subconscious mind. And we're going to talk a lot about money, because it's about investing, but it's really more where it all starts is your mindset, and especially about money. So I'm going to give you a magical sentence today, and I want you to write that down. I'll give you instructions on how to do that. And so it'll be a fun journey. And just to kind of understand on how it's going to go, we're going to talk about this prosperous mindset today. We're then going to talk about vision and your vision, and really creating, and not goals, I call it desires. It makes it more intimate. And also we'll talk about how to really make effective goals, and it'll be different. Many of the things that you hear in our sessions will be different than the way most have taught it, or that you've heard it or are doing it. and know that most people, to accept new ideas, you have to see those new ideas, think about them at least 6 times. That's why the advertiser, I was with an executive with Procter and Gamble initially in my career, and they, we keep on running those commercials all the time. And why do you do that? You got to at least run it 6 times for people to accept that new idea. And so that's true of us and these different new ideas that we'll discuss. And then we'll talk about our superpower, and I really call it super love. I do for marketing purposes, superpower, but really it is that all of us are loved, and we have this ability to use this amazing energy to create anything that we want. And so you can create the empire that you want, and you will be able to do so and have just be able to tweak it. It's kind of like the baseball player that in college, one baseball player hits 200 and the other baseball player hits 300. And the baseball player, that a college guy that hit 300 goes to the pros, makes millions of dollars. And the guy 200 goes and gets a job for 100 grand a year or whatever, has worked 10 years, or, what the baseball player's doing. And what's the difference between them? Is that guy got one more hit every 10 times at bat. So I want you to think about how you just want to tweak your thinking, tweak the way that your vision is, and so it's just this little change. And the way you know it will be helpful is paying attention to how you feel. And so again, this might be a little bit different concept than most of us, because we are usually like, what's a good idea? And I'm going to take you from a good idea to what feels best out of those ideas, and to always go to what feels best, because that's actually when you're on your lighted path. And then we're going to talk about you having influence and 4 pillars of your influence. And again, most of these things you have not heard, it'll be new. And so I would suggest taking good notes on it and then reviewing those notes and just letting all this soak in. That I have helped thousands of investors become better investors, real estate professionals. I used to, in fact, have my own management consulting company to Fortune 100 companies around the world, and they'd fly me all over to see their top clients, etc. And so this process is a time-proven process that I've been doing for over 25 years, and it keeps on getting better all the time. And then we're going to talk about focusing on what matters, and then talk about some of our inner wisdom and how really to have a intuitive business. And so you being intuitive, and we'll get to that as well. So a lot of fun things going. A couple of things that I had sent you was pre-course exploration, and so was this sheet here that talked about. So if you have that, and things every week, I'm going to be sending you an attachment, and I would recommend that you print that out, and you can even review it a little, and kind of in this pre-course exploration, that it asks some really good questions like, do I invest in my professional development? And all of you did. And so, you could say, hey, 4, I rock this all the time. And if it's not all the time, then it can start being all the time. And you're doing it right now. And that's where our power is right now. I am a master at my mental mindset. So again, as you read those 16 different points, questions to ask yourself and to rate yourself, that it'll help you to, I don't necessarily want you to develop the worst one. What I want, the ones, if you will, not at all. Rather, what, again, feels best, and what do you want to develop more? And even if you're at a 4, to do that. So if you haven't done that exercise already, I would ask you to do that. And then the second page is other questions to explore. And what I'd like to do is just open this up now. And first of all, for us to kind of get to know each other a little. So if you could just say, maybe where you are, what kind of investor that you're interested in. And then we'll talk about what's the one thing, if you can identify what's the one thing that you consistently do in your business that if you would do, it would improve. And so, Chet, if we could start with you and just let us know a little about you and where you're from, what kind of investing experience you have, what you invest in, and then what you think would be one thing that if you consistently did more often, you could be better at.
How you doing? I'm Chet from near Philly, Pennsylvania, and I've been investing for about 25 years in single family rental properties. Okay. And we built up a nice portfolio at one time, and we're sort of winding them down now because I'm getting to where I want to work a little bit less and enjoy life a little bit more. And so I've been studying the law of attraction, and that's what attracted me to you, is that I know this stuff works, but I get bits and pieces, but I feel like you're going to put all the pieces of the puzzle together to where we could work our thing, and just what you focus on, you attract. And to I'm missing gaps. So, because things obviously, you know what I mean? Like with the world going around us isn't my world, but it affects you. So that's why I'm here. I want to really be able to just focus on what I want to create and do, and sort of keep them buffered out the real world. So I just made a vow this year. I'm not watching TV at all because it makes me sick now. It really does, because so now
Very good.
Just focus on what I can control. But that's where I'm at. So
that's awesome, Chad. And you really answered the thing there that the question on what could you do in your business more consistently that would be better. And really in our life is, and you brought it up, is this idea about focus. And we will get into that, but maybe all of you would want to write down whatever I focus my attention on grows. And so think about where your attention has been. That has your attention been on, and I'll use you, Chet, just as an example, on like, hey, this is too much work, and then I'm going to kind of get rid of. Well, if I say too much work, that becomes my prayer, if you will,
right?
And I'll get too much work. Or another one that all of us have been guilty about, okay, that have thought about, if you will, is, gee, I don't have enough. And then fill in the blank, enough money, enough time, enough investments, enough knowledge, whatever. Well, if I say, there's not enough, then God, if you will, the universe, your higher power, whatever word that, is most convenient.
You cut out again, volume, there's no voice.
We can't hear you.
I had this problem the other day. I was going to Sam's and I was trying to text my wife, does she want me to pick her some oranges? And here it wasn't working. And I couldn't, so I get home and I said, my phone's not working. Here it somehow got on airplane mode. And I said, I didn't get the orange. She said, you should have got them. So I couldn't even know that the technology with the phone. So I get it.
Well,
still can't hear you, Doc. We can hear each other, it sounds like, but not.
No, we can hear each other. You see, Chet, you should have done what Dr. Haig said, like follow your intuition. You thought you should have get the oranges. You should have got them.
I know. Well, I know, but the thing is, being married close to 40 years, if I got And she was like, well, look, we're not going to be able to eat all of them because we're not going to be around. So then I would have got blamed for that.
That's right.
If I got it, so it's 50.
You can't win.
I
You
should have
can't
just
win.
got blamed and took it. You can't win. It's a great institution. But no, I got a great wife. Like I said, every day, when I was young, I was stupid. I took almost 8 years to marry her, but I should have done it in 2 years. I could have been retired by now. She's that good. I think I got the last of the great ones. She cooks, she cleans, she shops, she takes care of everything, and she's good with money. She don't got no tattoos, no weird. She's just like one of them, the old school.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
we can.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you guys got to know each other, a little bit more there. So Chet, that's a great one. And again, whenever I focus my attention on grows, that and this is all about mindset. And so let me share before we go on, to everybody else that because we're in this human form, we're really pure consciousness. But because we're in this human form, that we have been taught, and it is our belief, if you will, that what I'm looking at is reality. And so if you understand on how life, in fact, all of science has agreed, quantum physicists, molecular biologists, all within like the last 5 years, that everything starts with our thought. So our thought creates energy. Again, this is according to the scientists, and that energy creates matter, M-A-T-T-E-R. Okay. Now, I won't get into, they kind of missed God in that, and I had God in there, but your thought. So in fact, what we're looking at right now in our lives, wherever our investment business is, whatever is going on, all it is our previous thought that is now manifested into our experience, which means it's old stuff, it's old news, because you had already been thinking about that and created it into your experience. So thus, what you want to do and the mindset to have is to be thinking about what will be, number one, and then also looking for the wanted in what's going on right now. So it's really not good or bad. It's wanted and unwanted. And every speck and particle in the universe, and every idea and every circumstance and every person has in it the wanted and the unwanted. So it's up to you to understand that when you see something unwanted, it actually will help birth for you what you do want. So if I don't have, for example, if I don't have enough money, that what that does is I can look at that and say, that's what I don't want, and then turn the other cheek, if you will, and ask, what do I want? Wow, I want more business. I want more inventory. I want more investors, whatever you're looking for. That I want deals to go smoothly. I want to close more deals. And so you start talking now, and it actually makes not only your business better, but your life better by having this contrast of things that we don't want. And does everybody understand that and follow that?
Yes.
Yeah. And let me give you a great example is right now, I'm on the 15th floor. I'm overlooking my beautiful balcony and all glass windows, and I'm looking out, and I could swear the world is flat. And for years, until whatever, 100 years ago or whatever, that, teachers were teaching, hey, the world's flat, and so we thought, and so my senses deceive me. But what don't deceive me and tell me the truth is my feelings. And that's our communication system with our higher power, that when I feel bad, it means I'm not thinking about this situation the way that higher power, my higher power is. When I feel good, it means I'm on my lighted path. I'm walking through the corridor of joy, and the doors of abundance are swinging wide open. You like that?
Yes.
Yeah. So just visualize that and you'll do just great. Ross, good morning and tell us where
Good
you live from.
morning.
Yeah.
I'm from Chicago.
Yay.
Born and raised in Chicago, but tell you part of my story, but you'll also know my age, but that's okay.
You're just a young girl having fun.
Anyway, born and raised in Chicago, but I lived in Israel for 40 years.
Wow.
And I came back to Chicago in 2004 to take care of my parents. And my mother is now 100 years old. And
Oh my
I
God.
think she's going for 110 anyway. So part of the time when I came back to the States, I studied with Bob Proctor.
Oh yeah.
I did some coaching for a while.
Awesome.
And I've been investing in condos. I'm a landlord. I actually like this very much. I've been investing in condos in my neighborhood. So my husband does the upkeep and I do all the maintenance, the money,
Yeah.
and it's a pretty good deal.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What could you do consistently that would help, more consistently that would help your business, would you say?
Keep looking for good deals. Last property I bought in December went so smoothly. It was such a good deal that just gave me the idea that I can do this consistently. I can look for good deals. I've got the bank now. I've got
Yeah.
the right people.
Awesome. Yeah. And we'll talk about our team. We each have a team, whether you know it or not, and that bank, the banker is part of your team and those different connections you have. So,
But it's what you said, when the time is right, if you're thinking clearly. I
yeah,
met the right people who
yeah,
led me to the right people.
yes. So here's another mindset topic. So we talked about, focus, whatever you focus on, it expands. And so you want to focus on what you want. Okay. The second one is what Raza described there. In December, the deal was so easy that, Roz, if you will just think about that deal, the universe doesn't know if you're thinking about the past, if you're thinking about right now, or you're thinking about the future. But whatever you're thinking about, it's going to give you more of it. Okay, and kind of back to Chet's law of attraction. So if you will just think about that deal, like discipline yourself in the morning what to write down in your journal, just write down, oh, I just love on how my deals are so easy, and be thinking about December, okay, about how my deals are so easy. I find the perfect profitable investment, and just kind of go on from that. If you could just get lost in your thought about, so all of us have had a really good experience where we had an easy deal and it closed and it was fun and enjoyable and we loved the people that so I would recommend all of us to just write about and think about that every morning. But it's important to write it down because our mind wanders. And I call it the committee, our little committee in our head, and it's that chatter mouth,
Yeah.
and I look at it like a mahogany table. Okay, it's this beautiful executive mahogany table, and there's these executive chairs around it. And you, by the way, we each made up our own committee and made it so powerful, like it's the boss or something, which it's not. But in these chairs is worry and doubt and complaining and blaming. And so think about, gee, yeah, I was worried about that. I'm worried about the property, or gee, will there be enough for me, or whatever. And kind of at the head of the table is the judge, okay, and it judges you, and gee, how could have you done that? You didn't do this right, you didn't do that deal, and you said these wrong words, and blah blah blah. So what we want to do is we want to quiet that committee. That committee has no power unless we give it power, and when we just relax and I'm an ordained minister, and so I went to school for 4 years, seminary school. And the reason why I didn't understand this God stuff, okay? And because I remember I was in the front pew of the church when I was a young boy, and my parents were just in the back, but I was really interested. And when the minister would say something that I knew was right, because I'm just this little innocent boy, and I'd be shaking my head, yes, but when I heard something from the minister that I knew wasn't right, that I'd be shaking my head no. And man, my dad went and got me and said, you're never sitting in the front of the church because, everybody's seeing you. So I had to sit way back in the balcony in the last row to do it. But the fact is that, see, I was just tapped into my spirit, if you will, into my feelings, that communication system. And I knew what was right, wasn't right. So if you'll, excuse me, that if you'll just think about it and just get immersed in this, in the things that really played out well for you, and you'll see more of that will come, because not only will you do you focus, when whatever you focus on, your attention on, what does it grow, but also cooperative components come. So I'll give you an example of that. If you have an argument with your spouse or whatever, that you'll have a tendency to attract other arguments with other people. So those are cooperative components. So if I'm just thinking about how wonderful it is, going into what I call Dr. Hank's La La Land, okay, and you just think about how great it is to have these deals, they'll literally come out of the blue. And so that might be another thing you want to write down, is this idea about coming out of the blue, that I ask for and I call for. So every morning to write down, I call forth out of the blue deals for me, investment opportunities for me, big happy surprises. And that's a really good one, is start asking for, see, ask and you shall receive. And it's this idea about that, that we have to do the asking. And what have you been asking for? And so have you asked for big, happy surprises to come to me today? And the one that I just love is, I call forth tears of joy today. And you will get tears of joy. Because, see, sometimes we think, hey, money is really great and we have it. It's really about the feeling that money gets. It's about the feeling when we develop, new relationships like we're doing today. It's all about the feeling. And so, in fact, everything that all of us want is because it'll make us feel better. Because that lines us up with our desires, that lines us up with God. And so everybody follow that? Any questions, comments? Like it? Good, great. Russell, thank you so much, Roz. I appreciate that. And Russell, tell us a little about you.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to meet you all. I am originally from Zimbabwe in Africa, but I have been in the US and particularly here in New York now since 1998. I was a career consultant. Yeah, and it's interesting. I know so much of this is just so incredibly true and valuable. When I was much younger, I happened to come to America, and there was a sign of me pointing at the World Financial Center. I was in the building, and I was pointing up to World Financial Center. And I said, one day I'm going to work here. And when I first came to America, my first job was actually in 2 World Financial Centers. I know, and I'm a guy from Zimbabwe. Like this doesn't happen, right? Well, yeah. But it does. fast forward, I've been a career consultant for a long time with a boutique. I was just running a boutique firm, which I left 11 days ago to start my own firm. And so I'm on the consultant side. I'd have some passive investments in real estate syndication and one or two properties, but nothing like a portfolio like you have, Chet or Rose. But I also know that I want to grow that part. But my core strength, my superpower, is around the consulting dimension. The question that you asked us to talk about, I have a wife and 3 lovely children, and I'm very supported by them. My 4 girls, if I include my wife. But she's actually the boss. She's the queen. The one thing that I could do to consistently improve my business, as I have just started out, I've already got quite a bit going on, but it's clarity of my offering and how I differentiate me as Russell versus, everybody else out there and every other big firm. And so I have great relationships with my clients. And I know the thing that's just going to sort of set that trajectory forward is focus. You said that earlier. But just be able to get that clarity on what I'm calling that value proposition and the offering.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Russell. And how amazing. Behind me are actually pictures. That picture right there is from an artist from Africa.
Okay, lovely.
And so we have African art in our home, and so we just, absolutely love Africa, and in fact had a trip scheduled there, and of course we didn't go, right? But we're planning on going, at some point. So, and what a great story about that when you think about, I want to work there, and then the universe makes this happen, and like you said, it's like nobody would believe it, it's just not true.
Yeah.
And I'm a Vietnam veteran also, and I had a POW in Vietnam, and when he was in there, he just dreamed about being in Las Vegas in a limo with a pretty girl driving down, the strip. And so every day, that's all he would think about. Okay. And about 90% of the POWs died. He didn't. And why? The universe was going to make sure that his dream was going to come true. And he found himself within a year driving in a limo down the strip with this beautiful, lovely lady that he had met and fallen in love with. So, your story is just as remarkable. And hey, from Africa, and how do you point at a building and say, this is where I want to work? And next thing you know that you do. And then the last comment is your idea about this clarity. Clarity is a divine word. It is right up there. It's high vibration on this clarity. And next week, we'll develop that clarity about your passions and your offering, if you will. What are you offering the world? And but one thing, and for all of us to do, is to start asking again every morning on what are those burning desires that you have. So like, Russell said, hey, I have this burning desire on, I want clarity. And so the question could be, give me clarity on what my offering is. And so if you will just say, or give me clarity on how to build my business, okay? It's being more general. Our analytical mind is used to identify what we want and why we want it. So identify what we want. That, Russell says, hey, what I want is, I want this consulting business, and I want clarity around that consulting business, and then why. And it's what I do. It's my superpower, and you use that, Russell, and I love that. And again, we'll change that to super love, because kind of the world says power, but it's really not. It's about energy, and the highest energy that we each possess to be able to create everything we want is love. And so to recognize that, and we'll get into all of that. But thank you so much, Russell, for sharing that. And then again, pointers for all of us to be thinking this is all about mindset. Like if you do these easy steps and you start doing it consistently every morning, you'll see that you're going to be like Russell and be working in the building that you pointed at. And the odds, it doesn't matter about odds. In fact, what we do is we rise above odds and we call it the way that we want it. It doesn't matter anything about the odds. The odds are just what other people had been thinking before, and that's what they created. Great, beautiful. Brad, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Brad.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Well, I'm looking for direction from the pros out there on how to get into more investing and everything. Thought about it, different times, but just never kind of pulled the trigger. But I kind of changed 6 years ago. I got out of the medical administration field of managing clinics and surgeons and having 8 bosses and and so I just kind of took a leap of faith and got into the real estate and really enjoyed it. And the best thing I like, I guess, is what kind of my thing is working with both the first time buyer and the downsize buyer, and some in between. But it's just in teaching and listening and encouraging and I guess educating is what I like to do with people, because if they're comfortable and I can watch them grow during the process. And I've had people say, I was so scared and nervous about this, doing this, but you made it so easy and gave me things when I needed the things, not to overwhelm. And that's what I kind of want to keep doing. And you talk about asking for different things. And I was just thinking, yesterday morning, I was sitting here and kind of doing that. I wasn't writing it down, which I should, but I was thinking about it. And I said, I need a call to come in today and have another client. And probably not within 45 minutes, I got a call from somebody that it was a referral from another client. And I said, and I've bought and sold like 3 houses with this couple, and they're older and it was just really fun. I said, I really love those, Kathy and Harlan were their names. And they go, well, they love you too. And it is kind of like, okay, there's a sign that you do the right thing will come back to you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's just great. So a couple comments on that. So something to ask for is, and kind of get lost in thought about, is that I'd like to increase my investment portfolio. And you may be saying, but hold on, I just said, I'm just thinking about getting into it. I don't have an investment portfolio, et cetera. That in fact you do. You own your home, correct?
Yep.
You have stock.
Yep.
You have a thriving real estate business that, in essence, is you're investing your time and getting a sizable return from that. So you actually can look at and start looking at what you have now. And for all of us, again, to look at, because what that does is that gets momentum going. What you want to do is start changing the momentum that you have to what you want. And the way to do that is just start getting into it. And so each of us can start saying, hey, as far as invest, hey, what kind of investment, where am I? And then asking for, I want to grow those investments. And, I want to find that perfect condo. I want to, and Chet, I think that, it's almost like, to change that whole thing about, like you were saying, kind of like, I want to slow down, maybe sell some of them or whatever. I don't think you want to ask for that. Slowing down will slow you down and put you in the grave. and instead, maybe it's that I want to enjoy this more.
And that's
Yeah. And again, I know that we're talking to Brad here, but that it all of a sudden, and this is how it'll happen, is that I channel this divine thoughts, and so it's a perfect thought for you, and so you want to be looking. It kind of reminds me of even the like never retire, guys. Okay, never ever retire that, because the kind of the way it goes is you retire 6 months later, you die. That's kind of the average of doing it. So you don't want to retire, and the reason why that is because we are here not to pay off some debt, not to earn our way into heaven, not to have some karma that we're paying for, not to learn a lesson, none of that stuff. We are here to create. That's what we're here for. Well, this contrast in this world, the things that we don't like, help us to birth new ideas and create more. This world is so much better than it was 100 years ago. Most of the world has toilets, electricity, money that now, China emerging, whole countries, continents are emerging into middle class. I mean, this world is just fabulous. But if
Your voice went out again. We can't hear you.
You're going to go out and come back. Okay. I'm going to take a quick break myself. I'll be right back.
I guess I should take over whenever he cuts out to keep his show on the road, right?
There you go.
What I didn't get to tell, because I wasn't trying to hog this segment, was that when I'm saying take it easy, that I've been going 7 days all the time for a lot of years. But my main goal is to take all the stuff that I learned, like basically get all my ducks in a row, that'll leave me where I can get the people put into positions of my team that frees me up to do more of the things I enjoy. But my goal is to do what he's doing, the webinars. So I'm going to start small with family, like 6 people, and I'll be having the same problems as he has with like the going in, because I'm not a computer person. Without my wife standing over my shoulder, I've been on other webinars. I hit a button to talk, to put in the chat, and I got out and I couldn't get back in. So it took me 3 times once at this one call. The guys didn't think I was to learn, but all right.
That's great. Okay, thank you. You can hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Good. Yay. And so Brad, this idea about if you'll just take on looking at what your investments are now and what a great job you've done, and that's the what, okay, and asking it, and then the why is, because Brad and I had talked about this before, is one of your whys is because you want to get this farmhouse remodeled and redone and built to have the whole family and the grandchildren there and everything. See, that's what, and so be thinking about the why. Why do you want the money? It's just not, geez, so I have money when I retire. Get something exciting. I want this money to go visit. What was that? Oh yeah, there the house is. Look at that. That is just awesome. That's awesome. And so get pictures like that. Oh my God, they got the plans and everything. That is so exciting. That is just fabulous. And so think about the what and the why. And then it has been said that
you're on again.
I see that Brad has his vision board. I started one of them a long time ago, and all the things that I wrote down, like I years ago read a book, I forget the name, and he said, just keep writing affirmations of the things you want. And I read copybooks every year. I want to be worth $1 million. I want a brand new Ford truck. I want this house down. And everything I wrote has come to fruition because I was focusing on it before that movie, The Secret, came out, and the Law of Attraction, which I was interested in too. But I've been following this path and it works. but I got to get the clarity that the doctor has. And he's a billionaire and I'm not. So that's why I'm here, because he knows things that I don't know. So back, it's all.
That's great. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yay, yay. Hey, so with that, that's just awesome, Brad, and that vision board. And so I actually, so here, here my vision board is. I got all kinds of things. And there's a picture like of Egypt, that we're going to Egypt for our, I don't know, third time or wherever we go every couple of years, and we just love it. And so when you just get your mind surrounded. Another thing is index cards. And so I would do an index card. And what does that say? It says, I love money and money loves me. And so that's a great one to do is, and again, I do index cards on just the things that really get you. Now, I love that one. And when I say get you, make you feel excited, okay? I love money and money loves me. I love money and money loves me. And just get excited about that. I want you guys to fall in love with money. And again, there's been this idea about money, and this has everything to do with our mindset here, is that we're in Christian Judeo society, and so most of those have been brought up with hearing that, and from this guy, this minister, whatever, that the root of all evil is money. Well, that just isn't true. That whole paragraph, actually in the Bible, what it was saying is everything comes from God. And so you don't just love money, but you recognize, hey, from God, from my higher power, from the universe comes everything. And so that's the only point that made. Because back in Christ's time, that to measure wealth was one of the ways was if you had a lot of sheep, okay? Well, now we don't have to carry around a sheep to go to the grocery store and get some, we don't need to exchange that. And certainly a sheep isn't the root of all evil. And just one more other thing, because we were actually taught this in seminary school, that when we were looking to get people to give their tithe, and that what we would do is give them this story about the odds of a rich man getting to heaven is like the odds of a camel going through the eye of a needle. So you're sitting there saying, the eye of a needle, I mean, I'm actually making it bigger than it is. And how the heck can you get a camel through that? In other words, man, I'm going to give the church all my money. And that way I get to go to heaven, okay? Well, actually, in Christ's time, there was a city called Pyra. And in Pyra, to get there, it was surrounded by mountains. And it had two cliffs that came down, very narrow cliffs. And when I was going into that city, I had to get off my camel and I had to walk through this space because it was a narrow space, and they called it the eye of a needle. So the real point of that was, hey, straight and narrow. With money, you can use money to get a lot of things. And so I'd like you to have an attitude of money, that money is a divine energy from God, an angelic energy from God, just like Archangel Michael or Archangel Raphael, and or any angels, okay, that it's simply an energy. And it's one of the biggest blessings that God could ever give us, okay, is because this money gives us so many things. First of all, money equals freedom. So just have money equals freedom, that equation. That might be something that you just want to write down, write on that index card, as money equals freedom. And then the other thing is that that money provides what? It gives us more choices. It gives us more variety. It can give us an ability to give to our church, give to a charity, whatever. So this idea like, the filthy rich. We've been brought up with that. We've been programmed as a young children to be, they aren't filthy rich. That I was with someone the other day, and we drove, and somebody drove by in a Rolls Royce, and it was a pretty young kid, like a millennial driving a Rolls Royce, and this person next to me said, "Oh, it must be drug money." What? It's not drug money. There's some techie guy or, did whatever, to be able to do that. Hey, Danny, are you still on? Let me see here. Hey, Danny, I know you're on, I think.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Hey, Danny.
Yeah, I don't have a camera. I just recently bought a new monitor and it doesn't have a camera on it. But
okay.
By next Thursday, I'll get a camera.
Great. Yeah, and I use the Logitech. It's called the HD. I'm reading it right now. It's a HD 1080p, and so you just plug it into your computer, and then you just set it on top of your computer, and so I'm on HD. And you don't necessarily have to get, that good, but, you might as well look good, Danny. You're a good looking guy. I've seen you dancing, man.
Oh, no. Okay, I'm writing that down. You said HD 1080p?
Yeah, HD 1080p, and then it's a Logitech, Logitech, yeah. And it just has a good camera, and it's easy. It just plugs into into your computer with one of those things, that it is.
Yeah, that's what I need. That's what I need is easy, because I'm not very computer savvy.
Okay, so a couple things. First of all, everything can be easy, and never say you're not something, because then that's your prayer that you won't be any good. So I'm awesome at technology. And what I do is I ask Steve Jobs to come and help me. and really, like.
Oh, we lost you again.
I think you better ask Jobs again, because I. Awesome. That's what's good with it being a few people, because when you get a ton of people, it's probably even crazier.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
Yeah. This is one of my biggest fear, like getting on there trying to teach a small class and being all thumbs in everybody. Like, this guy can't even run the computer. He's learning myself, my family. Family's judging, but
yeah, they do. Family do judge.
Yeah. So Ross Passy, how you doing? So
Yes.
you've been renting, you have condos. How do you like the interaction? Do you do your own management and dealing with the tenants?
I do my own management, and my husband does. If there's if a toilet doesn't work, he fixes it. So we've
That's
got
good.
that. Yeah, that's good. I like it. It's in the neighborhood. I mean, I buy stuff. For instance, the one I just bought, it was $88,000, and the rent is $1,200.
Oh my God. You don't have to think to run them numbers. Those numbers work even with a little down.
No, and the assessment, which the owner pays, is less than $200. So it's good.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I want more like that.
Yes. So I was saying, I've been doing this for a while. my main thing is construction. I've been doing that for the last 30 some years.
But where do you live? Where do you live?
Most of mines are I'm in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, like I told my wife, I've handled the management all these years, and basically it's really just a people business. Like, you got to like people, and you got to you're going to have headaches. It's par for the course. And once you understand, it's just the way it is. And if you enjoy the interaction and you joke about, like I tell the tenants when they sign the lease, I'll be here. Here's my number. Call any problems. But if the rent ain't on time, I'll be here too. And I laugh about it. I said, well, I send Bubba down. No, just kidding. But,
But do you have condos or houses?
Single family rental houses.
Single family.
Single family, yes. Yeah, that's all. I mean, in the future, I want to get into larger stuff. So that's what I'm moving out of the single to have less of the management on myself. Okay, Doc, it's yours again. Take it.
Okay, and we just have and it's a miracle that I'm back. Like I went to my regular Zoom and it couldn't be there. And I asked Steve Jobs, give me the answer on this, give me the solution. And that's another good one to write down is I now seek answers and solutions. Okay, so I now seek answers and solutions. As you fill your mind with these statements that we have, and again, put them on, whatever, and on index cards, rewrite it. But I'm going to give you something that I promised. I'm sorry, Danny. What were you going to say about you? I didn't ask in the interruption there.
Okay. Yeah, I live in Fort Worth, Texas. I've been here most all my life. Married. I have 4 daughters, 13 grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren.
Oh, my.
Oh, wow.
I'm a realtor with EXP, and I'm also a certified real estate appraiser.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in single-family investments and also multifamily, and I know absolutely nothing at all about investing.
Well, you have a good start. You're a real estate agent and you are an active appraiser. So, so you got. What, Rod?
No, if you have some money, I can tell you about multifamily.
Oh, yeah?
Investments if you want.
Yeah, you guys can connect, and thank you, Ross, for that, and so that's an opportunity, and I'm very. Yeah.
Can I ask you one question or wait till the end?
Sure.
My question is this. I know about mindset, but what if suddenly you realize that your whole mindset is geared toward debt and not so much, what do you do with that? What affirmation would you say would work for that kind of a mindset?
Yes. So thank you, Ross, and thank you for your authenticity and saying, hey, it's about debt, DEBT. Is that what you were saying?
DEBT.
Yes. Yeah, on debt. Okay. So if I think about debt, what am I going to get?
More debt.
More debt. So there's a way to overcome, and so it basically plays out this way that when and I was just thinking, Danny, I think we're all done with you, right? That you had said what you wanted on.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And so
we've lost you.
We lost you.
You might have a timer on there shutting your voice down. Like when I got into plane mode with the phone.
We may have to learn how to read lips.
It takes a little while. So I guess we all can agree real estate really is the path of wealth, and it's what road do you want to take to get there. And single family houses, although it's great, it's more challenging.
Yeah.
Have a couple rentals. Like the old saying is, if you have 10 tenants and they're like, if they're all paying the rent, if you have that's great. But if you have one tenant, that's a headache. You don't want any properties. So it's like that mindset, you want to be able to, and but it's par for the course, and you got to have, and if there's things that you not good at, just hire that out to somebody that you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So, All right, Doc, I guess
Okay,
you're,
there we go. And so I'm going to talk quick. So basically, you can't think about that. So what do? Well, here's what has happened with us is we're the commander with our conscious mind. So since our conception, every feeling we've had, every thought we've had, every experience we've had, that from that, we come up with a conclusion, a judgment. Okay, so hey, money's no good, or I got all this debt, or don't talk to strangers, and so we get these, and basically your subconscious mind. So you have your conscious mind that's the boss, but you have the subconscious mind that it has inputted and remembered everything since your conception, and it has formed an opinion about every imaginable uh, subject under the sun. And so that opinion is called a belief. So we have beliefs in our subconscious mind, and I'm also a behavioral psychologist in addition to a mental scientist. So my peers would put you on a couch and say, let's dig up this problem with debt. And, why are you thinking about that? And it'll take you, and there's no end to it. It's like you're in a rabbit hole. So you can't try to think and get out of that rabbit hole. And, it's kind of like you're in this paper bag and saying, hey, I don't want debt, but I keep on thinking about that. And, and I just can't get rid of it. So here's the solution. And don't you love that? We got answers and solutions here. So I want all.
Oh, we lost you again.
Lost you again.
Right at the critical moment. Here's the solution.
It was so, yes.
it's like the first date. Don't fail me now.
It's so curious because it seems like the times are getting shorter and shorter.
Yes.
When you first started off for 20 minutes, then it was like 15, now it's 10, it's 5. It's like, I think we got 4 minutes there or something. I don't know.
So
Yeah,
if
Danny,
anyone else interested in the multi-family unit,
I would be.
I'll give everyone the information.
Thank you, Roz.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what you could do is you could, hold on, I'm not going to say anything right now. You can email. Oh, I got to talk quick. So here's the magical sentence that if you say this, it'll trump and overcome your beliefs. And this will go sink into your subconscious mind, improve your beliefs. And you are like a light that the fear of debt or the fear of anything is, it's in essence fear, okay? And it's the second most powerful energy there is in the world is fear. So if we fear something, we can attract it really quickly. And so thus, if I fear debt, then my debt grows, okay? Because I'm asking my parents' debt. So we overcome that with love and the loving energy. So here it is. That write down, I easily accept, ACCEPT, I easily accept new prosperity thoughts. So I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I am prepared to increase my income now. So I'll redo it. I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I am prepared to increase my income now. So here's the magic, is when you say, there's really 3 parts to this sentence. When you say, I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, your subconscious mind says, no problem. You easily accept, I can easily, accept new prosperity thoughts. Now, here's what has happened to us is we've been told, oh, do affirmations. Well, in Matthew 17, it says, when two of you come to agreement that it shall be manifested on earth. The two of you aren't two people. It's your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. When your subconscious mind and conscious mind agree, you'll manifest it. Well, if you say, I am wealthy, and you're not, okay, and your subconscious mind says, bullshit. You've been telling me you're poor, you've been telling me you got all this debt, you've been telling me blah, 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 blah. And so that's why that affirmation, I am wealthy, you can say it a million times and you'll never be wealthy. Because there's no agreement, because the subconscious mind, you've said since who knows how long about whether it's debt or I don't have enough money or, whatever the case is. So I easily accept new prosperity thoughts. Subconscious mind says, hey, I like that. And you have agreement with the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And I am prepared to increase my income. Subconscious mind says, yeah, I have no problem. I am prepared to increase my income. And then the all-powerful now, where all of our power is right in this moment, and then creating whatever we're thinking about in this moment, thinking and feeling about. And that's why you want to feel good, because if you don't feel good, it means you're not thinking about this the way that God is. And so if you will take that sentence, and so I'll understand it needs to be multi-sensory impact, because you picked up these beliefs and came to these opinions and gave it to your subconscious mind because we're these physical beings. And so we did it. So thus, I want you to write down that sentence every morning, and I want you to write it down 21 times.
Okay. Okay.
And what will happen, Roz, and all of us, that what will happen is that as you start writing that down and you start believing it, the subconscious mind it's the kingdom within us, will make it all of our dreams come true. In this case, that you'll increase your income. Well, what happens is you're feeling good about this. You say, hey, this is so cool. I can do this. And literally, it could be in minutes. It could be the first time you just wrote it down right now, that the universe, and I look at it as all of your angels are out gathering all your goodies. Whatever you're asking for, they're gathering. So you stop asking for that, never bring that up again. And what happens when we're feeling good and we're writing this, man, I just love this. So don't do it like, oh, I got to do Dr. Hank's assignment and damn, I can't wait to get the 21 done. If you do that, you're not going to manifest it. But if you go, man, I just love this. And I know that when I do this, my subconscious mind will make it happen. Okay. The kingdom within me will make it happen. And so I just start right now, I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I am prepared to increase my income now. And see, this is one of the magical sentences that has, created my wealth, will create your wealth, that because it's all in the mindset. You don't have to get into the detail about that, and you don't have to think about that anymore. Or Danny doesn't need to think about where am I going to get the money in order to, buy the condos from the multi-houses from Roth. Because what we're going to do is the universe will put that all together, just like it did for Russell at pointing at a building and say a picture, and say, hey, I want to work there, and well, I'm in Africa. How does that happen? The universe makes that happen. That's why the guy lives in Vietnam and he has his dream, and next thing you know, he's living his dream. And that's what's going to happen with all of us, is we're going to start living our dream. And so we are the light. And when you are feeling good, and when you are just emerge with thoughts about what you desire, I want to feel better is like the number one thing that really all of us want. And that raises our vibration, raises our point of attraction, and puts us in alignment with God and all that is. And that's why we want to feel good. It's our communication system. So you write that down 21 times every day, and then next week we'll talk about the magic that happened. Just start looking for the magic. So questions? Oh, and then lastly, you shine your light on it. So that debt is only fear, false evidence appearing real. And then you have this light, and now you're going to shine your light on it. And what happens? It's a shadow. Okay. These fears are just shadows. And when you shine your light on it, what happens to a shadow? It goes away. And that's what's going to happen with your debt or not having enough money, or, hey, I want to expand my business, or, hey, I'm not, I kind of want to slow down. No, I don't want to slow down. I want to feel better. I want to have a thriving business and more money. And there's plenty of everything. The last thing, that whenever that I am asking for anything, God makes more of it. So you don't have to think, because there is a little psychological thing that we've been brought up with, that you have to just be giving to people and all this stuff. If you don't have a receiver, what the heck, you got to have a giver and a receiver to be able to do it. So we got all these, things going on that we had. But when we realize that, hey, that when I ask for more, it doesn't take away from anybody, that God makes more of it. So there were no billionaires 50 years ago. Okay. Now there's 15, let's see, what is it? 1,800, something like that, billionaires. It's like, where did the money come from? Did we import it from some planet? No, we didn't do that. What we did is we asked for it and we got more of it. Everything is made up. So why don't we all start making up the way we want our lives? Yeah. Amen.
Amen.
Awesome.
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, with that will be kind of, you got your success assignment, if you will, on that. I will write a recap to you as well. And what did you like best about this session? Chet, I'll start with you. What did you like best?
Well, I got to talk a lot more because I can talk. They said when I was born, they thought I was a girl, and I never shut up. So no, it's great. It's like all the stuff you're saying. It's like you're filling in all those little spots of my thoughts about it. It's like you said, I don't really want to slow down. I just want to have more time to do more of the things I want to do that I enjoy. It's like you said, it's about the feelings and stuff. And one question, is this going to be recorded? We could go back in and we could, good, then I could really take, I wanted to absorb just what you were saying and not try to miss stuff while I'm writing, so I could go back and write it all.
That's awesome, Chad. And there's a lot of things that we did cover. Yes. And again, this idea about 6 times, that, at least watch it one more time, because you'll catch things in there. And remember, it's just to catch that one thing that you hadn't heard, your point of attraction, hadn't been at that point to receive it yet. And now all of our points of attractions are going to start rising, starting right now. Roz, what did you like best?
Well, I could say, like what you said at the beginning, I know a lot of this stuff, but I made a clean slate, and I'm listening to you. And I'm thinking, you're saying things that make total sense. And what I liked the best, of course, was the end. What I have to write 21 times. That's what I like the best.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Brad, what did you like best?
Well, just meeting from people from all over the United States. I think that's just awesome we're all in the same boat, but it's just a good thing and a belief. And I feel, more people thinking the same thing is stronger for all of us.
Absolutely. One person connected is more powerful than.
Oh, no.
Oh, we lost you.
Almost, Doc. We were this close.
We might have got 6 minutes, Russ.
Too true.
Awesome. No, but he is right. The more people you connect with, like your tribe, and you surround yourself with people smarter than you. That's what I've learned. Like with masterminds, you want to be the least smartest guy in the room, and you learn from each other person. So that sort of goes back to Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill with the Mastermind Alliance. So
That's
what
right.
I'm working on myself. So go ahead, Dr.
Idea about Mastermind Alliance. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Fantastic. So where were we now?
Brad.
Are we to Russell? Brad?
Brad, were you
Yeah, I'm
done?
done.
You're done. I just appreciate
Danny,
the reframing. Sort of things like the idea of fear, and you talk about what you don't have, and that invites it in, as opposed to reframing it. So just I need to look back at my notes, because I was taking a fair number of those and reflecting.
Yeah, good.
I appreciate this, and I appreciate hearing it from you and from everybody else who's had success. And that's very meaningful as a teacher. I think. Thank you all for giving your time.
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Russell. You're the man. It's just great connecting, with all of you. Danny, I know. Are you there? I think he's going to try to find his unmute. I'm not sure. So with that, this is the time. And
Can you hear me?
yeah, there you go. Hey,
Okay.
Danny, what did you like best?
I told you I wasn't very good with computers.
Don't keep saying that.
The thing I liked best was the law of attraction principle, and what you focus on expands.
Yeah, that's great. Well, that's fantastic. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being on today. And if I lose the voice, then we're off. and I'll wave bye-bye then. But this has been Mindset, and you got the key points out of the mindset to really have this prosperous a mindset and this abundance. It's an abundant world that we have. You are abundant. You are all powerful, all love, and you can create it the way that you want it. And it's just a matter of understanding this. And we've just been creating a lot of stuff that we don't want and putting our energy and a charge into things like whether it be debt or I don't have enough or whatever. And now we're not going to put any energy or charge into that at all. That's simply what I don't want. What do I want? And so we turn that other cheek and we go to what we do want. And then next week, we're going to set some high octane, high flying desires. And you'll be able to, and again, not goals, are these desires that really take us to feeling good and really enjoying the ride. We are meant to enjoy the ride here. And so now we can start enjoying it and realizing that this is simply contrast and that it helps birth a better life for all of us. And then I'll send a copy out of this for us to review. And you can also review the handouts that I gave you, that they're good ways to read those questions, and then make sure that you journal every morning, saying some of these principles we talked about, and then for sure 21 times each day. I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I am prepared to increase my income now.
Now.
And the last thing I'll give you, how to increase your energy. And so you want to always increase your energy, your point of attraction. So the next time you get a little money in, next time somebody smiles at you, says something good, whatever, I want you, not necessarily at the time when, if you're in front of the person, but I want you to go like this. Yes, 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 yes. So can we all do that? Go like this. Go, yes, 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 yes. And what you'll do is you're inviting more of it in. And literally, you'll get the more compliments of the more money. So the next time some money comes in, yes, 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 yes. I just love that. I love money coming in. I love money. Yes, 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 yes. And you'll get that energy going. And man, you'll start seeing money coming in, investments coming in, and everything that you want is coming your way. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, love you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great weekend.
You guys too. Stay warm. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.